Hi, this is John Savage with Unwind Financial coming to you again today. Just want to talk about something a little bit different, of course, on this channel, we talk about all things health and wealth to educate, inspire, to liberate. I don't always use that because we normally use that when we're talking about our podcast for our nonprofit. But anyway, just wanted to help liberate you guys' minds and help hopefully alleviate some anxiety today to talk about some resources that are probably available to a lot of you here. Um, EAP plans. So for those of you who do not know, that's Employee Assistance Program. So a lot of companies offer it. Amazon offers it. Google offers it. Facebook offers it. Apple offers it. Yankee Candle offers it. Dollar General offers it. Dollar Tree, I believe. Kroger offers it. Fry's, which is another brand of Kroger, they offer it. A lot of companies like maybe HEB, they're big here in Texas, and some others, they offer it. So the U.S. Coast Guard, they offer it. You name it, a lot of companies offer it. There's, I think, U.S. Allied might offer it as well, but there's thousands and thousands of employee assistance programs. And employees, whether you're making $1 million a year and you've run into a situation or you're making uh, $25,000 a year, or in some cases nothing, and you're off work due to medical, work comp, disability, or some other situation or life event. Just know that there's programs available if you ask your employer in most cases. And I'll just talk a little bit about that today. So with these companies, how they're set up, they're all different. And sometimes when one employee refers to another, I know because I've been experiencing it working with the APs through a company. Uh, Sometimes information is skewed and how it's conveyed. It's like playing telephone, right? One person says one thing, another person says another thing, and how you communicate and what one thing means to you doesn't necessarily mean what you're saying or what you're trying to convey. So we want to be very careful about that. But with the EAP program, excuse me, they have like there might be legal assistance that you can get where you can do a 30-minute consultation or maybe a couple of 30-minute consultations to get some free legal advice and guidance. There's legal programs out there that offer that. And many times people, if they don't have the right legal consultation, maybe they can call back in, for example, and they can reach out, talk to somebody else. But that's available to you, whether it's for estate planning, whether it's for bankruptcy, whether it's for you're dealing with credit issues in your particular state or some other kind of anomaly, dealing with a situation, maybe you're fighting with the city or county. A lot of times they will not, just kind of as a protective thing, they will not offer assistance under legal, as an example, if it's going against your own employer. So that's the only thing. So just keep that in mind. If there's a concern about that, some issues with your employer where there's something obviously going on, that's it's obvious labor laws are being broken, you're being abused in some way on the job, or some other thing taken advantage of financially, anything, shape, or form like that, then what I would offer as an alternative, I'd suggest you go to your labor board in your particular state to find out about the laws, find out more of what's going on, how you can get some support and assistance to address the issue or concern you might be having. And of course, that's after you've talked with your employer, you've gone through your HR, and anybody else you might need to go to that you trust in your job first to try and resolve the issue. Or you can also go through, there's free legal assistance programs that deal with, in some cases, labor laws, to a lot of them deal with family law, deal with divorce or other domestic issues, child care, just different things under the family law, as well as there's other things out there. Just so anyway, there's different legal programs that are available depending on your specific situation, even if it's for disability law. You think someone's broken some type of ADA laws, you have some issues with your apartment. So there's a lot out there, even if it's not directly under your EAP, a lot of things can be covered under your EAP. And then there's different size EAPs. There's EAPs that have dealt with hundreds of thousands of clients a year. Then there's those who deal with maybe thousands. There's smaller EAP programs. They could be specific to your general city location, It could be to the broader municipality covering certain counties, literally. Even Denver, Colorado, they have EAPs that they're connected with as well. So they're not the only one. It could be Denver, Colorado. It could be Raleigh, North Carolina. It could be City of Sacramento. So all these different programs might have be connected to an EAP, whether large or small. So you want to find out from your employer. The other thing is too, with these EAPs, a lot of times people might think they provide financial assistance. They typically don't. I can't speak for all the EAPs out there because I haven't been with all the EAPs and experienced it. Like I said, there's thousands of them across the country, small, medium, and large, and they all address a different segment of the society. So that's what you want to keep in mind as far as I say covered lives. That could be a 500 people that they provide services to. It could be 100,000, like a Walmart. Maybe they cover a couple 100,000 in, say, the United States specifically, but they don't cover all the lives that are under contract with Walmart throughout Asia and Africa and other places like that. Then you have also mental health resources through the EAP where you can get referrals. Typically, a typical EAP is going to offer, even like DeVry University has offered resources for that for those who are with DeVry University, as to give another example, or some of the other major universities, UCLA or in Broward County in Florida. So many different ones offer some type of EAP assistance or program, but mental health resources. So that's a big one. Unfortunately, the things that have gone on with COVID and just people, just how they've been treated during this time, we've seen a lot of things come to the surface, right? Of what we do and how we treat our fellow man in times of struggle and challenges, and times of lack, and times of just people going through different things. Unfortunately, sadly. So, but we also got to see some of the best of people during and after COVID as well. And so that's what I love. That's what amazing. And that's what I try to offer people to the best of my ability with my tools and my experience and my knowledge base and helping people that I work with. Um, but with mental health, so typically you're going to get 3 free consultations after that. Um, there might be programs that can be worked out where you have additional services, maybe at a particular rate, depends on if you're with Medicare or Medicaid, what might be covered or not covered under that program, but also depends on the provider as far as the services they'll cover. There are um, not necessarily so much the healthcare providers, but as far as a psychologist or the family marriage therapist, um, or other type of counselors, LPs as well, that provide counseling for people going through different things, whether they've been trafficked, domestic violence, drug abuse, they've just had a loss in the family, lost a loved one, a child, or some other major event they've gone through financially or otherwise in life. They will be able to assist you. So you can get connected to those type of resources under an EAP. And then there's also financial counseling and different type of financial counseling programs and different EAPs out there across the country as well. People don't realize they might have access to credit counselors or coaches. They might have access to get counseling on budgeting, debt management, savings, estate planning. Again, on that side of those who provide financial assistance, or financial coaching, not financial assistance, 2 different things. That's coaching, not on the legal end, but on the financial aspect of things. And sometimes, like with those who have the finances and have a team, a lot of business owners, they might have their attorneys, their CPAs, and they'll have their financial advisors, and then they might have an accountant. They literally have a whole team of people to strategize on their different areas of expertise and a perspective when they're dealing with certain financial situations and challenges or opportunities. The APs are also connected to unions throughout the United States as well. For those of you who might be independently contracted, but they've signed up with the union, so you don't necessarily have to be a W-2 employee to be connected to or have access to a EAP, employee assistance program. Okay, so you want to keep that in mind as well as you're looking at benefits. If you're part of, I know there's ASICs and other programs out there that deal with manufacturing, logistics, transportation, great programs. You want to look at all their member benefits as well, even if you're not an employee, but you're an independent business owner, because that can be vitally important to help you save money and just kind of reduce costs in your overhead, especially if you're dealing with financial challenges and situations. So just keep that in mind as well when you're dealing with different situations and challenges that you may have an EAP that you have access to. as someone to help you through financial situations. And that includes a lot of them will have like tax coaches as well, for example, or provide some type of tax counseling. But you want to find out from your specific EAP. Another thing on the EAPs as well is um, a lot of times they might not be connected necessarily with any particular, say, nonprofit organization, but maybe they can be very helpful in getting you connected to a nonprofit organization resource to get additional assistance because they don't provide like financial cash grants and things like that or loans. So just keep that in mind when you're reaching out to them. Now, sometimes employers might have like UPMC or some other companies out there. There's even certain hospital systems during COVID where they had grants, but they may have required their employees, and even now, depending on that particular contract with that particular organization that's offering the EAP service, pardon me, um, they might have someone go through a whole financial counseling session, as an example, in order to get assistance and get the grant through their program if their family is dealing with the hardship situation that came up. So just keep those things in mind. There's a lot of things out there that people don't know about, and EAPs can are tools and access to tools and resources and people and organizations that could help change things for you in your financial situation. You could just be one call away from either going further into debt um, or getting out of debt. You can be one call away from losing all your savings and being out in the street just because of how you handled the situation because you didn't know. Not necessarily your fault or anything, but just you know what you know and you don't know what you don't know, right? And so I try to look at things from that standpoint, just to encourage people just to be educated on what you have access to with your benefits. You don't have to know everything, but know where to go to access your benefits, know who to talk to give you the answers you need, and to know when and how to use those. A lot of people I've talked to over the years, they have used their retirement contributions and then they end up reducing their take home pay because they're still contributing to retirement, but they also pulled out $50,000 to pay off some debt to give them some relief. Well, all you did is just move money from one place to another. Yes, you may have mitigated and reduced your interest burdens as far as the fees you were paying in interest fees, but now you reduce your take home pay. So the strategy might be when you're talking to someone is, all right, either I don't pull more money out or pull money out of my retirement, depending on where I'm at with the situation and decision I'm trying to make. Maybe I talk to a coach and see about possibly just pausing or stopping my retirement contributions and to tackle some debt, but also increase my take home pay in order to put more food on the table for my family. And those things are temporary. A lot of these strategies and sessions you can get with financial counseling or meeting with a counselor for mental health issues and other things you've been going through. People deal with PTSD. They're functioning at work, but they're under a lot of stress. And then they get home and they just completely shut down. Just know there's tools and resources out there to help you and to hopefully alleviate a lot of anxiety, pain, or other challenges you're dealing with so you're not alone. Okay? So that's just a little bit of tips on about EAP programs. If you want to know more about me and Unwind Financial counseling services, you can go to unwindfinancial.org. That's unwindfinancial.org. I actually just updated, so you can also go to unwindfinancial.com. That's unwindfinancial.com. And then I also am a generalized insurance agent here in the state of Texas. I have access to different insurtech platforms, insurance companies when dealing with mitigating risk, whether it's premium auto insurance you're needing, standard auto insurance, or if you're a high risk auto driver, but you need to get some coverage and you're concerned about that. Or you need to talk to someone about possibly getting a policy. You're going to be going out of the country, maybe going to Mexico. You definitely want to make sure you're covered because you're not going to be covered unless you get a special insurance to cover you while you're out of the country as far as the general territory of the United States. So whatever it is, you have questions about insurance as well, risk mitigation, you can reach out to me or insurance policy reviews, whether that's for life or whatever, auto, home. Definitely would love to work with those who need renter's insurance as well. Sometimes people get renter's insurance. And I've talked to them, I know, because they've either canceled it or didn't get it. And then all of a sudden they were displaced due to mold, fire, or some major flooding or something. And right now, as we're seeing with weather patterns, it's important to know what tools and resources you have available to you. So whether you go to an EAP plan or you don't even have an EAP plan, and I'll say this in short. So with some of the contracts with the EAPs, a lot of companies, big names, some of them I mentioned, some I haven't mentioned, Procter and Gamble is another one that they have a great EAP program. T-Mobile, so many other big companies out there you can name and think of. They have some type of EAP. Maybe it's Toyota or some other big company. Just so you know that those programs are out there, and they have benefits where those contracts that they have, it might be covering you all year long. Others, it might be a contract for only 30-day benefit that you have. Others, it might be 3 consultations that you have. That's it. Others, you get 1 consultation. So it all depends on the particular EAP and the contract that's been set up. And a lot of them after that, you have to pay on your own. They might have great benefits in paying. And so, but you just want to know what you have access to, the time frame you have, which accessing those things, and even get on the schedules and other things. So with the holiday season coming around, if you think you might need to talk to someone about your finances, your taxes, connecting with a lawyer or talking to a counselor, just deal with some mental health issues that concerns you're dealing with, then it's always important to go ahead and get scheduled on their calendar now. You can always make adjustments later, but just forethought, think ahead, get on the schedule so that way you're not waiting and other people come fluxing in during the tax season, the holiday season. And now you need to talk to someone to make a major decision in your life, and you don't have access to talk to anybody. You don't have the funds to go pay someone. Oh, so in the meantime, that's it. If you want to know more about me or maybe things you can do talking about EAP or just my services with Unwind Financial, you can also email me as well at info@unwindfinancial.org. And about the insurance, you can go to uwfinsurance.com. That's uwfinsurance.com. And that stands for Unwind Financial Insurance.com. Thank you so much. Have a blessed day. Until then, unwind.